Hey, welcome back everybody to Larry's Fountain Pens, and I'm Larry, and I'm going to be doing a review on the Jinhao 450. And I've done reviews on Jinhao 450s, and you've seen many reviews on the Jinhao 450, right? Sure you have. But this is a pen that I saw on Facebook, and what got my attention was the nib. Remember, it's all about the nib. Well, I saw a nib that I've been interested in for years now. It's called the G Nib. It's a super cool nib for calligraphy. So there's a gentleman, you can probably find him on YouTube with the G Nib. I think they call it a zebra G Nib, but this is just the Jinhao DLY G Nib. And here it is right here. I bought this pen. They call it Maury Gray. And it's a metal pen, beautiful, lacquer Maury Gray finish on it. A nice looking pen. Got a little bit of weight, which I like. And the nib, and I'm not going to really talk about the pen because I've done enough reviews on it and there's been enough reviews on the pen. I'm going to talk about what's under the hood, this nib. Can you see it real good, the nib there? This is the G Nib. Now you can pick up this pen with the nib just like you see it here off of eBay for $4.60, and it does come with a converter, right? So you get all this just like that for $4.60. Then I saw this as well. That's the G Nib by itself, and you can pick up this as well for $1.70. So I saw this on, like I said, on the Facebook. It could have been on one of the Facebook fountain pen groups, but it really interests me. So this is already in a fountain pen. You don't have to mess around to get it to fit in the pen. As a gentleman was saying on his review channel, the Asian gentleman was saying that on the zebra G Nibs, you have to really work them in there to get them in, and sometimes you have to cut back the nib a bit to make it fit. So, I guess that's one of the reasons why I never bothered with it, because I didn't want to go through the ordeal of trying to get it to fit, and if I had to cut on it and do all this jazz, I said, nah, beautiful calligraphy writer he was, a nice nib, but I'll pass until I saw it in a pen already. So I'm thinking, well, this is already in the pen, so I don't have to do any prep work on the nib, because they recommend, if you keep up with these nibs, when you're doing dip pens, that you need to do the prep work to get the nib ready for it. So there's not any information about any prep work. There's no information other than what I'm about to read to you. It's the calligraphy fountain pen made in China. The G Nib writes the thickness of a G Nib, okay? And the Maury Gray, and that's the information that it gives me. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to do some writing, and I'm going to use some Monteverde black ink. I am not going to dip it, I'm going to fill it. Why not, right? Now you can't use these pens as eyedroppers, as y'all know. So now let's see if this, get it going here. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Set that aside. Close up my bottle. Grab me a napkin, and I'm going to wipe it off. And so far, it's looking good on my end. And so I'm hoping that it will write like I saw this on Facebook. So here we go. I'm going to use the standard regular Rhodia dot grid, so I'm going to use it right down here. First line. Here we go. And it doesn't write. Alrighty, that is interesting. So I'll go back and dip it. Like I said, there were no instructions on how to get this nib ready. And again, nothing. So I will go ahead and prep the feed more with some ink. Alright. And see if that's going to work. Here we go again. And as you see, nothing. Now we're getting some going on here. But you got to dip it. But you know, if I can get this pen to write and look at that beautiful nib, how it lays down that ink. On the video I saw, the pen was just writing so great that it got my attention. And as you can see, I had to continuously dip the pen in ink and write. So, you know, I'm thinking, well, maybe it's meant for a dip pen. But as you can see, it does lay down the ink. Beautiful. So I'll be right back. Let me see if I can do some adjustments to it and get this writing without dipping it in the ink. Be back in a sec. Don't go away. Okay, I have been working with the pen to get it to write, which I have. And it does lay down the ink. But I'm still not understanding the pen that has a converter. It does fill with ink, but really it's totally useless in the pen because you have to continuously dip the nib and feed into the ink and to write with it, as I'm going to do right here. I'm going to dip it in the ink, and I've got a nice dip in it, and we're going to write. And then dip it again. And it does lay down the ink, as you can see. On the upstroke, it's sharp. It can cut into the paper. The downstroke is cool, as you can see. Side stroke, also real scratchy, cuts into the paper. Downstroke is good. Upstroke, not so good because the tip digs in the paper. So when I write with it, I have to be really gentle with it. And watch the amount of pressure I put. But then I can, with the downstroke, I can lay down the ink, but I've got to let up. So for me, it would be hard to write a letter using this pen. So if anybody out there has ever used this pen, the Jinhao, with the G Nib in it, please let me know. Because I really can't get it to write not well enough to write a letter. No, not going to happen. Not with this nib. The nib is real sharp. It does lay down the ink really well on the downstroke. On the upstroke, it's really sharp on the nib again. And on the cross stroke, it's really sharp. So I can't have to do very light strokes doing those, or it'll turn the paper. So I've heard a lot of great things about the G Nib. Once I use it, I'm really going to love it. Well, I'm not loving this one so far. So the other nib that I bought, I put it in the dip pen just to see how it's going to write, and well, I'll show you. And then I'll talk about this. I'll dip it in there real good. Now, it writes a little better than the other one. And you're really going to just keep dipping it in there because it runs out of ink quickly. So, you know, yeah, I'm learning to do my flexing. But again, this pen comes with a converter. So that tells me you ink up the pen, right? Right. I've never seen this process before. The only thing I'm used to is seeing the G Nib. You know, you dip it in the ink and you write with it, as you do with your dip pens. But to me, is this a special feed that goes with the G Nib, or is it a regular Jinhao 450? And it does look like a regular Jinhao 450 to me. So if anybody out there has any suggestions, let me know. I mean, I'm doing everything I know how to get this pen to write. Very scratchy. It's a pen that the nib I'm not excited about. To me, it's, until I can know how this pen operates, it's really worthless. And the nib, the extra nib I bought, you know, I just, for the heck of it, tried it in my dip pen. And, you know, and you saw how it writes, you know, so, you know, I'm sure this is meant to go into another 450 pen as well. So, any suggestions, you know, let me know and we can go from there. But I wanted to show everybody how this pen, the Jinhao 450 with the G Nib, writes. So, I was pretty surprised that it didn't do what I hoped it would do. It didn't meet my expectations. Very scratchy. Can rip the paper if you're not careful using it. You have to continuously dip it in the ink. So, what I saw in the video, how the person wrote with this pen, was utterly fantastic. It just glided on the paper just so smoothly, and those letters were so nicely done. It was really beautiful calligraphy. You know, I didn't see the person having to dip it in the ink or priming the feed, nothing like that. They just went on and on and on, but not with this one. So, this is the Jinhao 450 G Nib. No, I'm not a happy camper, so I thought I'd go ahead and shoot this video out to you all without editing, without making any excuses, to show you behind the scenes how I deal with this pen. And, you know, this is the first pen that really didn't perform like it needed to, especially for a G Nib. You know, wow. But I will play with it some more, and I will do an update after I take this nib completely out in the feed and check this out thoroughly. But this is how it is for now, right? All right, hey, thanks for watching. I hope this got your attention enough to say, hey, you know, Larry did do what he's supposed to do, and give me some positive suggestions. I'm open for that. But this nib just not going to cut it. You know. All right, folks. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm going to say bye for now, and I will give you an update at a later time. Take care, and don't text and drive. Peace out.